All right. This is a quick review of our Hanamura game. I just want to go over a couple of like team concepts. One being the window, and how the whole team should be playing around it. And then two, pushing on picks or like having aggression on picks. Um, and then uh, some individual stuff, I guess, but not so much focus on that. So I guess to start off with, like conceptually, just to like kind of go over what should happen during window. Or what should be kind of prepared for during window, is that not like the initiation is like halt and fire strike, right? Or sorry, is halt and window, right? And the count can come from either of these characters. It can either come from Orisa or it can come from Bap. Um, if there's no Orisa, then it should absolutely come from Bap. Um, but these two things kind of want to go up at the same time, or like the halt actually wants to come out slightly before the window, um, so that the the damage that's following up on the window can come instantly because they know exactly when window is coming. So all of these things like Fire Strike, Storm Arrow, if we have a Zen, the a 5 orb Zen volley, these things are all like projectiles, so they take a little bit of time. Ryan has to drop shield and then Fire Strike. There's a slight animation delay. Storm Arrow has a slight animation delay. Zen Volley obviously needs to be charged, right? So like these things all like take time to get ready, beyond just like the player reaction time, which also is a factor. Um, so that's why like this setup needs to be counted down, so that everyone else can be ready to like launch all their damage right when the window goes up. And then in terms of like who counts this down, it can be either or. So like Ursa can say, "Hey, I'm gonna pull," and then like say like pulling now, and then window can come right after that, or you can count down the window and say, "Okay, three, two, I'm gonna window." Like give everyone a heads up, and then like three, two, one, window, and then the halt can come out like when the count's on one, so that it's a little bit ahead of the window, and then this stuff can all follow up on the halt. Um, so either way is fine, but you need the count, and the reason is because everyone else needs to be ready to shoot damage through, and these abilities take time. So if there's no count, like there's reaction time, and then there's actually the animation wind up time of these abilities. So like that's why the count is so important. Um, and then in terms of um, kind of timing, like the earlier the better. Basically, but it is a judgment call because like if you go too early, then if you just like shoot the Rhine, like the fire strike isn't gonna kill the Rhine, and like all your damage is gonna hit Rhine shield, but then he can just back off because it's not gonna break right away unless he like stands there like an idiot, right? So it is a judgment call. Like you don't wanna pop it like right as soon as their tanks show, but like as soon like when you see like two or three people, then that's enough. Like you don't need to wait to see all their whole team because the halt is going to pull people in, and you also don't need to get a 6-man fire strike. You just need to like hit like one or two squishies, and you win the fight off of that by itself. Um, so it's definitely it's an engagement like um like strategy or tactic or like a combo, I guess. And the earlier the better because if they like walk up and they see you guys like standing in front of them, they're gonna start playing defensive, or their deep is gonna be ready with matrix, or their six is gonna have grasp up, right? So you kind of want to like um ideally like let's say this is the choke of Hanamura, like as soon as you see like one or two of them, the halt goes out, and then the window goes out, and then like you pull, and hopefully like the diva hasn't like quite made it around the corner, so she has to like make reaction time flick to like block the damage with matrix, or Sigma has to like reaction block the damage with grasp. He doesn't have time to like look and be like, oh, there's gonna be damage, and like have time to register that. They're gonna have to react to like the sound of the window instead of kind of being able to prepare themselves. um, so on defense, we used window twice, and I actually think that like both times weren't that bad, but they could be better. and I just want to like go through them a little bit. So okay, so 2:30. Okay, yeah. So this is the first window. Okay, and I think both times like no one counted down the initiation cooldowns, so that's window and the pull. But the coordination was actually pretty good this time. They just had a really good eat. But me on Rhine, I was absolutely not ready for the window. Like I know I had called for the window, and like so I like vaguely knew that you were gonna use it, Red, but I had no idea when you were gonna use it. And then I think Mithy also used her storm arrows early, so like so it's on cooldown now. There we go. And let's see, like it's yeah. So I'm pretty sure we were already talking about window here. So like, I mean, if you're gonna storm arrow the halt, you should storm out before the halt like pops, right? But also storm arrow is nerfed, so it's no longer that great. Like if you go for the headshot, it's better because you actually need 3 storm arrows. Actually, you need 4 storm arrows for a kill, unless one of them is headshot. Or I guess if they're headshots, you need 2 headshot storm arrows for a kill versus just 1 normal headshot. But yeah, but like storm arrow through window is really good because it's a huge burst of damage. So this cooldown needs to be held for that. And then one other thing to help set up, like because there's that like kind of judgment call of the window. If you can Sonic like the corner, or even Sonic this, then it'll be a lot easier for BAP and Arista to know when a good time to like pop their cooldowns is. So those are like 2 things Hanzo needs to do. One is Sonic to help the 2 people that need to set up the play do that, and then hold storm arrows for when the window actually comes out. Okay, so so then this comes out, and Milk actually halts right away here, basically. So that's really good timing. Unfortunately, they had the Matrix up. Like I had no idea that was coming, so it took me like a second and a half to actually pop the Fire Strike, and like in that time, that was enough time for them to like back off. So like let's watch that again. I can put it on half maybe, and so like. Hold on. Here's the window, and then right, like in that time, the Ryan backed out, the Diva backed out, Lucio backed out, McCree like backed out, right? So yeah, like if the Diva hadn't eaten the pull, like we probably still get value here. But if we had a count, we would have gotten value also, just even if the pull was eaten. Unless the Fire Strike's also eaten, but like there's only like it's not necessarily something you can control, I guess. And then I guess just on the timing of it, like this is not bad, but I think we had maybe a chance to like do it slightly earlier. And I guess because the rest of use pull here, you should be calming your pull cooldown to the team so that BAP knows when he can window as well. Because if they see you use the pull, then they're gonna want to wait until your next pull comes out. So like when the window play is called, try to like be aware of what cooldowns need to go with it, and like calm them if you don't have them, or like if they're on cooldown, just so everyone's aware. Okay, but so let's.
Get behind the barrier.
Alright, so it popped pretty much right as the pull came up. But I guess like if the pull hadn't been used early, so if that pull hadn't been used and the Ursa had been holding pull for the fire strike or for like the window combo, then like and you know there should be a Sonic here as well, right? And that would help that would help Red like understand or like help him know like or like better be able to predict when to window. But like here, I guess you see the Rhine. Like I think the other thing is positioning. If you're playing over this way, one you're a little bit safer because you have hard cover. This you can wrap left, but they can still like step into you and like maintain vision on you. Like they can just step in, and then you're exposed. Whereas if you're playing here, if you step around the corner, there's like literally no way they can get you unless they like walk all of the distance up to the corner, right? And it gives you a better angle to like line up the window and also shoot through it, because here you are lining up and it's not like there's some good reasons to be here, or like there's some good reasons to do it this way as well, which is that it's a little bit more surprising, I guess, because they're expecting it to come out from Baptiste. But like I think overall this is better. Um, Primarily because, well, one, positioning, and then two is you can also shoot through it once you put it up. And like it's not the end of the world, but BAP does a decent amount of damage still, even after the nerfs. Okay, so we're looking at your perspective to see like if you could have used it earlier.
Let them up.
And here, I guess you're like really focused on healing. Let's see. Yeah, like here, like keep backing up this way, and then so here you only see Rhine. Ursa's blocking your view. You're staring at the Hanzo though. Like I think if you had turned, yeah, you can start see them coming, and you can pop it right here. And if you were like over here, you would have a much better view also, right? And I guess like I don't think we called which way they were going, but that's also like something that could help Red out, is if we said they're going right, then he knows that it would have more information to like stand over here even more so than like for the safety and for the lining up the window reasons. But like right here, like the sooner you do it, like the harder it is gonna be for them to react. Whereas like once the diva is already like looking at everyone, like it's a lot easier for her to react to like seeing the window come out. So, but then you like put it up. Like, that's honestly not that bad. But like the countdown would help. But like the things we did wrong like altogether were, one, we didn't count down the setup cooldowns. We used pull too early, like or too late in a way. The previous pull too late, so that we didn't have pull ready for the ideal timing on the window. And then we used storm arrows early, and then I also could have reacted faster to the window, like despite not having the cooldown, right? Or not having the countdown. Like I still could have like I could have just reacted faster and like shot it through. And they had kind of a good eat on the pull that did come out. But if we still had pull earlier, then we could have probably caught them off guard and like gotten the damage through without them matrixing it, or got the pull through without them matrixing, which would have let us get the follow-up damage in, rather than them splitting. Okay, so that's the first one. And And then the second one's at 420. Far. Roughly here. Okay. So again here, the pull comes out too early. I'm pretty sure we had already calmed that we're gonna go for a window here. And I just heard Storm Arrow, I think, right? So yeah, Mithy just used Storm Arrow. And also like, this is not like you can't shoot through the window from here, right? So you need to be on the ground. When for this play specifically, I think that's a good position. Otherwise, and so this comes out. I'm a little slow to react again because there wasn't a count. Red also got pulled, so it threw it off a little bit as well, but that's fine. Like I think windowing on that halt also would have been good. Just like timing wise. Probably could have hit the Zen as well if I predicted a little bit better. But then like, yeah. So I guess again here, like we didn't really coordinate the halt and the window cooldowns. My Fire Strike is a little bit late, and we wasted Storm Arrows as well before. This time, Red's positioning is better in that you can shoot through it. It was a little unlucky on the pull that like they pulled you as well. That's fine. And then I have no idea why this nano comes out here. Like if someone's gonna die to window Fire Strike, they're gonna die to it with or without nano. So nanoing Rhine for the Fire Strike doesn't make any sense. And I guess the reason to nano here is if we're gonna push them hard, but we don't have a Lucio, so we can't really get in on them that well. And then I think your nano comes out before the Genji nano. Okay, yeah, so this comes out first, and then the Genji nano. So if we had just held this, you could have nanoed whoever the Genji went on, either Prim or Red, because he can keep the tanks up, probably through the slashes, if as long as he doesn't die. Especially if you nade us as well. So the nano, like the nano Rhine, like it doesn't really do anything because anything that's gonna die to the Fire Strike through window is gonna die like whether or not the nano is there. And then the second thing is like Anna walks in toward the blade, and that lets Genji kill both supports here. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of get that you were probably like walking toward the IMO, but if you just stay farther, then he can't really do anything to you either, right? Especially if you're back here. Like if you're up here, and you kind of started walking already for the window. So I don't know. Like maybe you were just caught in kind of a bad spot. Because like here he can, if he kills someone, he can dash at you and then slash and then get a reset. But if you had stayed like further back, then you're out of dash range. And you can still see most of the fight. But anyway, Sora kind of popped off here and he killed like 4 people. So we lost this, but that's alright. But yeah, just like execution on the window, like knowing all the cooldowns that need to go into it, and then like counting so that we can coordinate all those cooldowns. Like those are the things that like we really need to practice, and those are things that Eclipse does really well. Like all the times that they like Fire Strike and kill 2 people with window, it's because they do it like they definitely are counting it because they like do it instantly, and then like two of us die because we get pulled into the Fire Strike and it's doing 200 damage. So like, yeah, I don't know. That's just like that's how much better it can be with kind of the proper setup, and it's a whole team thing. It's not just any one person. Okay, and then the other thing I want to look at was like pushing on picks. So there's two instances of this. One we did like pretty well, except I like fucked up because I charged while purple. 340 here. It's like the previous fight. And then the other time was like when like we went, but then our healers were like still backing off when the call was made, and then they got back too late. And then I died. Although it was still even. We like semi won the fight. Then it made our last fight kind of awkward. But okay, so oh, it's actually further back a little bit. 330 maybe. Okay, yeah. So we get an opening pick on the Rissa, which is really good. That's a huge purple, right? And we should actually commit on this, and we should call that. They fuck up. Anyway, and the Rissa like stays too long and dies. Okay, and then at this point, like I'm saying, I don't think I noticed right away, but I was like, eventually I was like, we should go in. So I'm holding this corner a little bit. I'm like trying to check to make sure people are coming. Then I'm committing here.
60 seconds.
That's a shitty shatter. And that's a really shitty charge. I just need to hold shield here and let you guys clean up because we're up 2 at this point. Or if I can't like charge in. I need to hold this corner. But we win this fight anyway, and like the big thing here is like Prim commits. Like he fucking like goes in and they die because they're all low. Like we should all be walking forward here still. Because we lost our rank, but they're down a main tank as well, and they're down an extra DPS. So Milk gets slept. Prim's going in. Like these guys need to walk forward here. Okay, we get 3. And then we back off here, I think, which is good. Because they're getting spawns. So the reason why this is so good, though, is like, look at the time when they lost the Ursa. Is... okay, the time on the in-game clock is like 104, or like, let's say a minute. At this point, if they just wait 10 seconds and regroup, it'll be like 50, somewhere between 50 to 54 when Ursa gets back here. And they have time for 2 fights off of that time. But by pushing up and getting those staggers, we force them to only have 1 fight, which they end up winning, which is unlucky, but like, you know, that's still a really good situation for us. We like took out what we like prevented them from taking an extra fight. So I'll speed this up a little bit. Like, up to the point. Okay. And then when they're ready to take their next fight, it's like 20 seconds left or whatever. Like right here. Okay, so there's like 20 seconds left, so this is last fight. If we had
60 seconds
not pushed
remaining.
up, so did they lose their wrist again?
This is going to hurt.
Okay, Ursa dies. So if we just play passive here and like we just hold choke, for example, like let's say we just stand here, right? Like, I mean, Ryan should be backing up further than this, but like, let's like, if we just like hold here and we don't push, then their Ursa spawns in. Oh, it doesn't give you the timer. Okay, but I think they spawn at like 53 or something, 54, and then like around here they're able to take their next fight, I guess. Okay, so actually, like even now, this would be kind of one fight territory, although it'd be pretty close. Like they could probably get like if they didn't all die here, they could probably like go and push, and then they might get a ball respawn to like do a last contest. So it wouldn't actually be like a full fight, but still like taking that away from them is pretty big. And if they had, if the Orisa had died at like 115 instead of 104, then it would absolutely be like a full fight taken away. Um, but anyway, so that's kind of that. And then the second instance was 620 ish. 620 here. All right. Okay. So they push high ground. And they lose two pretty fast. Oh, still on 2x. Back up a little bit. Okay, so that is a huge sleep, right? And like you're like backing away from the shatter, and that's fine because you're not sure if the sleep is gonna hit, I guess. But then like you should see the kill feed that the Rhine dies, and like this at this point, all of us should be like thinking like, oh, we should go in. They're down two. So Prim's like mid falling off the top, which is fine. But like certainly the four of us, and then even Red should be thinking to path this way. And you can heal Prim while going this way as well. But instead, what happens is, so they're down to it as of this moment. I'm like, go in, go in. We're healing Prim. It's not like the worst idea, but you can do this while walking. And then, like, Widow's just like backing up to spawn. So, and I don't think you were thinking to heal Prim here because you were facing the top still. You just turned. But I think it's mainly just being aware of the kill feed. And like we need to be able to play fast. Because this is something that Eclipse does really well as well. Is like when they get picks, they like go in hard. And actually, I think most of the time we're like okay at it as well. But like just I don't know. This is really frustrating when like we have two picks. Like we need to go like stagger them, and like the team is just on different pages. So it definitely happens, and I'm sure there are plenty of times where like I play too passive as well. Um, but just kind of like try to be aware of the kill feed, like and like um, like the faster we can play or like can make these realizations, the more fights we'll win, right? The more games, therefore, we'll win. Um, and then yeah. So I guess for like Widow, I think you just like kept backing up. I think you probably just didn't notice the kill feed. So try to pay more attention to that. And then for Red, like you were healing Prim, but you don't need to necessarily jump down to heal him, especially because they're not pushing out. So like, there's nothing that can kill him, so you don't necessarily have to use your shift on him right away. Because like you can see that there's like no one, like you have the best vantage point of the whole team. You can kind of see that there's no one coming. And then like if our team's pushing this way, then your shortest path is like this, and then going in, obviously. Trim's kind of just bait right now, and not that important. Like, uh, not that like, not that it's bad to heal him, but like you can do both at once, I guess, is my point. I was a little unlucky on the jump being slightly short, but Anyway, that's it for this map. Oh, and then I'll just show myself feeding for a little bit because I know people don't like taking criticism, so I'll just even it out. So this last fight, totally fed here.
60
So
seconds
I go for
remaining.
this fire strike here. Um, I guess I didn't quite have the situational awareness that that most of their team was still alive. So like if I knew they were all over there, I definitely should not have dropped because I need to hold this. And like if I know that they're over there, it's actually pretty dangerous for me to come down because it's really hard to come back up this way without taking a huge amount of poke from them like through this doorway. Um, I didn't know they were over there, and I still like stayed down here. And I think I said I'm gonna like look for a flank shatter, but this is like a really shitty spot to go for it. For one, because the only place I can hide is right here, and like they're gonna see me if I stand here, right? And then if I stand further back, then I'm not actually hidden, and they can see me when they come through, and like they're gonna look this way. So because a lot of times like people will put May over here, they put Hans over here or something, so they're gonna look. So that's a really bad idea. And then um, my idea once they like looked at me and I was like, oh shit, this is stupid. Then my idea was like I'm gonna back up and like just hold shield and like try to like pull them this way and then like because they can't really rush me that hard because they'll be caught in a crossfire. Um, but I need to like drop or like go somewhere else. Um, like I can stand here for a bit and then I can like drop down or something. Uh, but yeah, here's me backing up. But yeah, I think at this point, like, I can't just get stranded here. Like, I'm gonna do literally nothing from here, and they're gonna be able to push up for free. So I just need to like go somewhere. Um, the alternative is for everyone else to come down also, and then we just take this fight like this way. But it's definitely worse than fighting up here. So it'd be a lot better if I was up there. I think Zarya's like, oh, I'm gonna make a play and help out the Rhine. Um, I don't know if that was the best idea. I appreciate the thought though. Um, But yeah, I'm not really sure what the alternative option was. Especially because like if we just held up here, they could have we could have grabbed. Um, but yeah, I don't know. This all comes from me being on the side rather than up top. But we actually trade here, and then I heard the McCree high nudes. Trying to figure out where he
10
was,
seconds
and then I
remaining.
dropped to go after him from the Sonic, but he backs off. The wrist drops behind me, and then I just like go into the room for some reason. Like, I guess I was getting shot by Orisa, but I really could have just like backed into her and like started swinging on her. Not really sure why I decided to go this way, and then I just like stand here and hold shield, which makes no sense. Like, I have two options. One is just like go around and take the mega and like come back up. Um, Two is just like push on the Orisa. I was a little bit worried about the McCree. He actually already used flash, so I don't know. Like here, I can just be swinging on the Orisa for sure. And then finally, like I have Shatter here, and I saw the Orisa use Fortify, and I heard her use Shield. So this is a free Shatter. So, but I hit Charge instead, and I died for it. Yeah. So anyway, definitely could have won this fight by just like not being scared, basically. Um, um, and I guess like one small thing is like um, you do actually have an angle to heal me here if you just step this way a little bit or like nano me. But I also should have been aware of nano and like been like, okay, I can get nanoed if I walk out. So yeah, lots of mistakes. But it all starts from like bad positioning on the main tank here. So anyway, but otherwise, like I think the two main things to take away are really like just like being aware of kill feed and aggression and like you know, I do try to call it out. like when we should go in. I'm probably not always right. Sometimes I probably miss opportunities, but like if we can all kind of be aware of kill feed, then it helps everyone be on the same page and like make the same plays together. And then two is just like with window, it's not just like a window and a fire strike. It's like everything else that goes into it. All of that needs to be coordinated to be the most effective it can be. And like we absolutely need to count down one of the setup cooldowns. Like it doesn't matter who does it, but one of the Rissa or BAP needs to. And then everyone else needs to like when the window play is called, everyone else needs to hold their cooldowns for that play as well. So that's like Zen volley, halt, fire strike, storm arrows, and any like other burst like soldier rockets if we're playing soldier, stuff like that, etc.